Young man, your father commanded the army at Troy. You are Agamemnon's son, and now you are here to see for yourself, as you have always wanted to do, this place, this legend-haunted, longed-for land of Argos. Io was driven across this plain by stinging flies, and over there, Orestes, Apollo gave his name to the market. That there on the left is Hera's famous temple. Where we stand now, you may say that you were looking at gold-rich Mycenae. And this blood-drenched house belongs to the family of Pelops. I carried you away from this place, away from your father's murder, when your own blood sister gave you to me, so that I could save your life, bring you up to young manhood, and train you to be the avenger of your father's death. Therefore, Orestes, and you too, Pylades, dearest friend, we must decide quickly what to do. The sun's rays, as you can see, are already being lifted by the voices of the birds, and the stars are fading from the dark and kindly skies. So, before the first man ventures from this house, we'd better say enough to settle on a plan. We mustn't shrink or hesitate a moment longer. Now is the time to act.
You are very near my heart, more than any other serving man. You've proved your ability to me many times. Now, I'll reveal my secret plans to you. You must keep a sharp ear to what I say, and if I miss my target, you must set me right. You know I went to the oracle of Apollo at Delphi to find out what strategy would make my father's murderers pay the price for what they did. Apollo answered my question along these lines. By myself, without mustering an armed force, to trick them, sneak in, and with my own hand, do the slaughter they deserve. So on this basis, you are to go, and when the right moment strikes you, enter this house and find out everything that you can, so that you can give me a report from first-hand knowledge. Your age and the passing of many years will keep you from being recognized. They won't suspect a thing. Tell them a story. You are a visitor who happens to be their greatest ally. Give them this message under oath. Orestes died in a fatal accident. When he was chariot racing at the Pythian Games, he was thrown from his perch. That's your story. As for us, we'll go first to Father's tomb to make a libation as the god directed, and I'll cut a fine bunch of hair to crown his grave. Then we'll come back here again, carrying in our hands the urn, you know, the one we hid in the bushes, to sneak in with a phony tale that will delight them. We'll say that my remains are already burned and reduced to ashes. Now, land of my father, gods of this place, receive me on this successful journey of mine. And you, home of my father, I have come with justice on a mission from the gods to scrub out the stain. Do not reject me from this land in disgrace. Give me mastery over my wealth and power so that I may bring order to my house. That is what I have to say. Now then, go and look after your assigned task. We too will leave.
Listen, child. I think I heard one of the maidservants crying inside the house.
Is this Electra? Poor thing. What do you want to do? Should we stay and listen to her grief?
Oh, certainly not. Nothing before Apollo's command. We must set out to follow that as our guide and make the libation to your father. This will lead to victory, I assure you, and power over the perpetrators.
Oh, holy light! Oh, air, art's equal partner! How many cries of grief have you heard? How many times have you seen me draw blood as I beat at my breast when black night lifted? Oh, these all-night festivals of weeping. That loathsome bed at home. How well I know every lump in it lying awake mourning for my poor father. He could have been an honored guest in a foreign grave if the bloody word had taken him. But no, my mother and her playmate in bed at just this, like a pair of lumberjacks, took a bloody axe and split his soul. Now, oh, my father, no one weeps for you but me. I am the only one who cries out against your murder, and I will never stop.
Dear child Electra, daughter of disaster mother,
will you weep and wail forever?
What will be enough for you? To melt in tears?
That's old news now. Agamemnon getting trapped.
Deceived by your mother, utterly godless, betrayed by her wicked hand.
And the man behind it all. May I say it out loud?
I wish he were dead.
Dear women, you are true to your noble birth. I am in anguish, and you came to comfort me. Believe me, I understand what you say. You are not unheard. But I do not want to give this up. Seize this ruckus morning for my poor father. Leave me to my madness. For the sake of our friendship, please go.
But you are not alone, child. All mortals suffer pain.
You let it hurt too much.
The others in your house, same father, same blood as you. They live with the same loss as you.
Why do you take it over the edge?
And what about the boy who is hidden from pain?
He is well born and happy, and someday Mycenae, our famous land, will have him back.
At the altar of Zeus who cares for us,
Orestes will come.
He's the one I'm waiting for. I never give up. I hang on unmarried, childless, fluttering in misery, sodden with tears. Well, my string of bad luck runs on and on. But Orestes forgets of his pain and what he knows of mine. How can he send message after message? None of them come true. Always he says, I long to come, I long to come. All right. Well, then show yourself to me. Dear friends, noble as you are, no one now can tell me anything that helps. No one with good sense would think otherwise. Please go away, spare me your comfort. My pain is beyond cure, and I will never let it go. I will weep without end.
all right, but I meant well.
I spoke like a mother from my heart. Trust me.
Do not hatch ruin out of ruin.
Set limits to evil? Impossible. How could it be good to neglect the dead? Would human nature bear it? Save me from the honor of restraint. And if I may speak from my heart, save me from the peaceful life that would dishonor my parents and clip the wings of my shrill soaring cries because my poor father lies dead, because he is earth and nothing. They, in return, shall pay the price, death for death, if any strength remains in the reverence and respect of mortals.
As for me,
Dear child,
I came because I care deeply for you. As for myself,
If I speak wrong, you win.
I will follow you.
It shames me, ladies, if you judge me guilty of excessive pain and grief. But be understanding, violence forces me to act this way. How could any high-born woman see her father suffering and not act so? His death is before my eyes, day and night, growing like a healthy weed. First, my mother's part in this, because she bore me, is the cruelest blow of all. And then in my own home, I rub shoulders of the murders of my father. I am at their demand. I depend on them. Sometimes they give me what I need. Sometimes they don't. And what kind of life do you think I can lead? When Aegisthus sits in front of me on the throne that was my father's? When he wears father's clothes and pours libations from hearth and home right where they killed him, and I have no choice but to watch all this? The ultimate outrage, I see him, the murderer himself, in father's bed with mother. Mother? That disaster of a woman. Can I really call her that when she's the bedmate of that man? I cry alone by myself with never enough tears to satisfy the hunger of my angry soul. And she mocks me. So, one high-toned woman, only one, keeps saying this was wrong. No one else complains or calls it hateful to the gods. Are you the first to have a father die? The only human being to suffer and to grieve? Devil take you! I hope the gods below never set you free from your weeping and wailing. That's how she insults me. But when she hears Orestes may be on the way, she comes after me, shouting like mad. It's all your fault. You did it. You stole Orestes right out of my hands. I'll make you pay for that. That's how she howls for justice. And he's beside her, cheering her on, her famous fresh-made husband. Totally pathetic. Can't do anything on his own. Has to have a woman to fight his battles for him. So while I'm sitting here waiting for Orestes to come and put a stop to my trouble, I am perishing here.
Tell me.
Is it just this at home?
Would you say this while he's near?
Or is he away?
Of course he's away. If he were near, I stayed indoors. Right now, he's in the fields.
Well, then in that case, I might find the courage to join in what you say.
He's gone, all right. What do you want to know?
Your brother, is he coming now or later?
He says he's coming, but he doesn't do what he says.
One often holds back when the job is enormous.
But I saved his life, and it wasn't by holding back.
Be hopeful.
A noble nature never fails his friends.
So I believe that's what kept me alive this long.
No more words now, nothing.
I see your sister coming from the house, Chrysothemis.
Like you, she has her father's nature.
And
her mother's.
Look, in her hand she has gifts to offer.
As custom dictates.
To the dead.
Sister, what are you saying? After all this time, are you still refusing to learn how silly it is to indulge in empty displays of emotion? At least I understand the situation I am in. I am in so much agony over the way things are now. If I were strong enough, I'd show them what I think of them. But I have decided that in a storm, it's best to slacken sail and not pretend to take action when you're causing them no pain. You should follow my example. As for justice, I agree. I am not speaking up for justice. Your judgment is correct. Still, I must live in freedom. And to do that, I must totally obey the powers that be.
Dreadful, absurd. Your father is the source of you, who you are, yet you forget him and think only of the woman who gave you birth. You learned everything from her. When you scold me, it comes from her, not you. Take your pick. Either you are out of your mind, or you stayed sane by putting family out of mind. The way you are speaking now, if you were strong, you've shown how much you hate all of this. But when I demand total vengeance for father, you won't act with me. And when I act, you try to stop me? What is this but cowardice on top of our trouble? Yes, you hate, but your hatred is only a word. Action killed father, and you're cozy with the killers. I would never give in to these people, even if they promised me all the luxuries you revel in today. Never. You can have that gourmet food and stuff yourself with it. I don't want any part of the rewards you get. You wouldn't either if you were sane. You had the chance to be known for the excellence of our wonderful father. And you chose mother. So most people think you're rotten, now that father's dead and you betrayed your own family.
Not so angry.
By the gods.
You'd both be better off if you learned something from each other.
You should apply her words to your life.
And she should apply yours to hers.
As for me, ladies, I've become rather accustomed to the things she says. I never would have brought it up except that trouble is coming her way on a huge scale, so I heard. That will stop her endless wailing.
Really? Tell me, what's so dreadful? If it's worse than the trouble I have now, I'll stop arguing.
All right, I'll tell you everything I know. Their plan is this. If you don't quit this morning, they'll send you away to a place where never again will you see the light of the sun. You'll be alive under the roof of a dungeon far from this land. And there, you may sing of your troubles. Think this over, and later on, don't blame me if you suffer. Now is the time to get smart.
That is what they plan to do to me?
Absolutely, as soon as Aegisthus comes home.
Then I hope he makes it here quickly.
What are you saying? It'll haunt you.
I hope he comes, if he has a mind to do any of this.
What are you aiming at? Have you lost your mind?
I aim to get as far away as I can from all of you.
Don't you care at all about the life you have now?
Yes, it's a fine life I lead, wonderful.
But it would be, if only you learned to think straight.
Don't you try to persuade me to turn against family.
I'm not trying to persuade you to do anything. Just give in to the powers that be.
You mean go along with them like you? I can't live your way.
But good judgment is a fine thing if it keeps you from falling down.
I'll fall if I have to. Avenging father.
Father would understand this and forgive.
Congratulations on your wisdom. A coward would say the same.
So you're not persuaded? You won't agree with me?
Not at all. I hope I'll never be such a fool.
Then I'll leave. I was sent out for a purpose.
Where are you going? These offerings, Who are they for?
Mother sent me to pour libations at father's tomb.
What? Though he hates her more than anyone?
Though she killed him. That's what you meant to say.
Did she get this from some friend? Who was she trying to please?
She got it from fear because of I think.
Oh, gods of our Father, be with us now above all.
Does mother's panic give you some reason to hope?
Tell me what she saw. Then I'll answer.
But I don't know much. I can only say a little.
Then tell me that. Often a few words are enough to save a human life or ruin one.
Word is that she saw our father, and he was living with her again, after he had returned from into the light. And then, in front of the hearth, he took and planted his scepter, the one he used to hold, which Aegisthus has now. And from it sprang a vigorous young branch, which cast its shade over all of the land of Mycenae. I heard this from someone who was there when Mother revealed her dream to the sun. More than this, I do not know, except that she sent me out on account of this fear. Now, I beg you by the gods of our people, take my advice. Don't let yourself fall down as a result of bad judgment. If you push me away now, you'll be back when you're in trouble.
No, darling, these things you bring, don't let any of them touch his tomb. It would be an outrage, an irreverence to bring that hateful woman's gifts as offerings for father's grave. No libations either. No, toss them in the wind or dig them in the hole deep in the earth, where none of them will ever come near our father's resting place. She can have them when she dies, her own little buried treasure, which we saved for her. First off, if she weren't the hardest-hearted woman on earth, she'd never send you to honor the men she killed with a crown of offerings, a libation of hate. Ask yourself, do you think the dead man would accept these gifts of tokens of friendship? When he died at her hand, dishonored like a worthless enemy? When she hacked off his legs, wiped the blood off of her hands into his hair? Don't tell me you believe you could wash away her crimes. Not with the things you carry. No, get rid of them. Do this instead. Cut off the waving tresses of your hair at the end. And take mine too. It isn't much, but in my sad state, that's all I have, dull as it is. But give it to him, please. And take this belt of mine, though it's very plain. Fall on your knees and make this prayer. May he rise from the earth to be our friend and ally. May he strike our enemies, and may his son Orestes have the upper hand when he has crushed them under his foot, so that we may crown him with richer hands than those we have today. Listen. I believe he cares for us. I believe he sent her that nightmare for our sake, for you and me, my sister, as a helping hand. He is a true friend, though he sleeps below in Hades. But no one is closer or more dear to us both than Father.
Reverence agrees with the girl.
If your mind is sound, you'll do what she said.
I'll do it. Justice forbids debating on both sides when what it demands is immediate action. But please, for my sake, my friends, be quiet about it while I carry out this plan. If Mother learns of it, bitter pain will strike me if I dare to carry on.
Unless I have totally lost my mind like some raving fortune teller.
It was justice that spoke to that dream, and the force of her hand will bring justice here.
Very, very soon.
My confidence soared as soon as I heard the sweet breath of this dream.
Now there will be no forgetting. Your father, king of the Greeks, remembers.
And so does the old bronze-made double blade that hacked him down.
A
shameful, shameful crime.
We can be sure of this. When people commit such crimes or conspire to do so with others, the only miracle they can expect is monstrous.
Their own punishment.
Surely human prophecy cannot depend on nightmares or on visions of terror.
Unless this vision of the night.
as we hope comes true.
So, I suppose you think you're free to roam about now that Aegisthus is away? He'd keep you in bounds indoors, so you wouldn't be such a disgusting embarrassment to your dear family. Well, he's gone, and you never listen to me. And yet you have lots and lots of things to say about me to the people. You call me cruel. You say I rule with no regard for justice, that I treat you arrogantly, outrageously. But the outrage isn't coming from me. I am only giving back the insults you give me. Your father, that's your only charge against me, that his death came from me. From me. I know that well enough. I can't deny it. But it was justice that took him. I didn't do it alone. And you should have helped too if you'd had any sense. Because this father of yours, the one you're always weeping about, was the only Greek hard-hearted enough to sacrifice a girl to the gods. Your sister. The pains he took to father her were nothing like the pains I had in giving birth. All right. Can you convince me he had a reason to kill her? For what? For the Greeks? They had no business in killing a girl who belonged to me. Would any father do these things unless he had foul judgment and a wicked mind? I don't think so, though I know your mind is different. She would agree with me, the dead girl would, if she had a voice. As for me, I have no regrets about what I did. Do you think I'm not making any sense? Wait till your mind sides with justice before you start blaming your neighbors.
This time, you won't say that it was I who began a round of insults. Still, if you permit, I'd like to set the record straight about my dead father and also about my sister.
By all means, plunge ahead. If you always began a speech this way, it wouldn't be so painful to hear.
All right, I will speak out. You admit you killed father. Could anything be more disgusting than that? No. Even if you had justice on your side, but I tell you, there is no justice in your killing. You were controlled, brainwashed by that wicked man, the one you sleep with now. I'll explain. One day, I'm told my father went for sport through woods belonging to a goddess. And there, he startled a deer, a spotted buck with antlers. He killed it. And doing that, he struck the goddess Artemis with an arrogant boast. This so enraged her that she held the Greek army back so that my father would have to pay for his kill by sacrificing his own daughter. That's how it was. Her sacrificial death. The army had no other way to move. No going home, no going on to Troy. This forced him to do it, though he fought it hard. And it was hard for him to sacrifice the girl. Should he die for that? At your hand? By whose law? Think of what you lay in yourself by imposing these laws on others. Watch out. It may be grief and repentance. Because if we start taking a life for a life each time, you'll be the first to die. If justice comes your way, take care. Your plea of justice will not stand. Please, if you like, convince me you had cause to commit your own more recent foul, disgusting crime, sleeping with a man whose hands are stained with blood. Your helper back then in killing father? Yet I'm not allowed to say a single word against you without you shouting to the whole wide world that I have a filthy mouth. All right. If I was born like that, it came from you. So I have my mother's nature, and I'm not ashamed of that.
I see she is huffing with anger. Is she giving any thought as to whether justice is on her side? I don't see that yet.
What kind of thought should I have toward her? She treats her mother so outrageously, and at her age too. Don't you understand? She has no sense of shame. She'd stop at nothing, no matter how disgusting.
Listen, of course I'm ashamed of what I do. Even if you can't tell, I learn from what I see. And so I act in ways that are not right for me. It's all because you hate me so much. You absolutely force me to act the way I do. You know, act ugly, ugly actions teach.
You nasty creature, so I'm to blame, really? My words, my actions, they're making you talk too much.
It's you. You're the one who's talking, not me. The action was yours, and action is the cause of words.
Oh my God, by Artemis, I swear you'll pay for this insolence. Just wait till Aegisthus is home.
Look at that. You just flew into a rage. You said that I could say what I want, but you don't know how to listen.
Won't you let me make my sacrifice? A decent silence, please. No more shouting. I'd let you say everything you wanted.
Make your sacrifice then. My lips are sealed. I won't say another word that offends you.
Then I ask you to stand by me and lift up these bountiful offerings, so that I may raise a prayer to this Lord to release me from the fears that I have now. Hear my words, I pray, Apollo, guardian of the house, and understand their secret meaning. I am not among friends, and it would be a mistake for me to bring everything openly into the light while she is standing here. If I did, her tongue is so busy screaming in anger that she'd spread false, malicious words all over the city. So listen to me as I asked, since this is how I'll speak. The images I saw in that dream last night with two meanings. Oh, Apollo, if what they promise is good, grant that they may come true. But if not, if what they promise is hostile, send them back against my enemies. And if anyone has a secret plot to throw me out of my position of wealth, don't let them, but allow me to live my life as before in total safety, looking after this house and the royal power of the sons of Atreus. Allow me to share day after day of happiness with my friends and my children, the ones who do not hate me or carry bitter pain. For these things I pray. Hear me graciously and grant us all that we request. What I've not said, I believe you understand, though I am silent. As a god, as a son of Zeus, you must know everything.
Greetings to you women. I ask if I can be certain that this is the house of Aegisthus.
It is here, my friend.
Your guess was right.
Now, I am also guessing that this is the woman in charge, am I right? She seems like a ruler.
She certainly is.
I wish you joy, lady. I am here with a report from a friend. It will be a great pleasure for you to hear, and for Aegisthus as well.
What is it, visitor? Tell me.
Orestes is dead, to put it succinctly.
Oh no, misery. I'm finished. Today's the end for me.
What are you saying? Don't listen to her.
Orestes is dead. I said it once, I'll say it again.
I'm finished. A miserable nothing. It's all over for me now.
Mind your business and get back to work. You, visitor, tell me the truth. In what way did he die?
I was sent on this mission, so I will tell you everything. Orestes came to the glorious showplace of Greece in order to compete for prizes in the Delphic Games. And to make a long story short, I never knew such a man for winning prizes. In every race, the referee announced the one on the double track, and all the usual ones, he carried off the wreaths of victory. Everyone thought he was blessed with happiness. They hailed him as Orestes of Argos, son of Agamemnon, who, once upon a time, mustered the glorious army of Greece. And so it was. But when a god is being destructive, there is no strength that can escape. And so, on another day, when the chariot race was set to begin at dawn, he entered the swift contest against many charioteers. They each took their places where the appointed referees, after casting lots, assigned each chariot. And then, at a trumpet blast, they were off like a shot. At each turn, Orestes kept close to the post, just touching it with his axle housing and giving his right-hand horse free rein to block the next team. Now, in every race before this one, Orestes had driven safely, and the poor man kept his chariot straight and upright. But then, he slacked off on the left-hand reins as his horse was turning. He wasn't paying attention. He crashed into the post, shattered his axle housing, dived over the railing, got tangled in the cut leather reins. As he fell, his horses skittered off into the middle of the course, and the people, when they saw he was thrown from his chariot, wailed with pity for this young man who, after doing such great deeds, had wound up in such a disaster. He was thrown to the dust, tossed to the sky, his legs flashing, until drivers, with great difficulty, got his horses under control. And then they cut him free. But he was such a wreck of blood and gore that his friends would not know him. They burned him right away. And now, an urn holds that magnificent body's miserable ashes. Men from Focus were chosen to bring him here, so that he could be buried in the land of his father. It is painful enough to hear a report, but to see it, as we did, it was the worst disaster I've ever seen.
The ruling family is wiped out.
Like an uprooted tree.
Oh, Zeus, what can I say? Is it good luck or horrible? But is it to my advantage? What agony this is. I saved my life by losing so much.
Why are you so downhearted, lady, at this news?
It's wonderful and horrible to be a mother. Even when he treats you badly, you cannot hate your child.
Apparently, we should not have come. It was a waste of time.
No, not at all. No waste of time. How could it be? Not if you have brought with you compelling evidence that he is dead. He was born out of my life, but tore himself from my breast in the care I gave him, ran away and became a foreigner. And since the time he has left has never seen me. But he blames me for his father's death, and he makes terrible threats. And so for all these nights and days, I have never had the sweet shelter of sleep. But every passing moment has come over me as the moment of my death. And now today, I have no more fear of him. Or of this woman here. She's done me more harm. She lives with me, you see, and she takes my lifeblood constantly. But from now on, peace and calm will guard our days from all her threats.
No, it's too horrible. Orestes, must I grieve for you? Now that mother abuses you arrogantly, and your downfall, could this be good?
Not for you. But things as they are stand well for him.
Go ahead. Abuse me, now that luck is on your side.
Won't you put a stop to this, you and Orestes?
We have been stopped. And now, we can't stop you.
Your visit, sir, deserves a great reward if you have stopped her screaming voice.
Well, then I should be off, now that all is well.
Certainly not. You deserve better, and so does the friend who sent you. Come right in. Leave this woman outside. Let her bawl over her troubles here.
Do you think she had pain behind those groans? And was it clever or horror that made her weep and wail? A sad woman mourning for her son. But she was laughing when she disappeared. I'm ruined. Orestes, your death wipes me out. When you went away, you ripped hope out of my mind. The only hope I have for you to be alive. And come avenge your father and me. Now where can I turn? I am alone, bereft. You and father both are gone.
Where is Zeus's thunderbolt now?
Where is shining Apollo? How can they watch this scene from their hiding places?
Why don't they do something?
Dear child,
Why so loud?
It's horrible.
don't make such noise when you cry.
You're killing me.
How?
If you're going to pretend there's hope, when anyone can see they've gone to Hades, you'll just be trampling a woman who's already down.
I'm so excited by joy, dear sister, that I came back in a rush. As no time for decorum, I bring news of joy. This is the end of all these troubles you've been weeping about.
Where would you find an antidote? The pain is mine. It is beyond cure.
He's here with us, Orestes, as sure as you're seeing me now.
Have you lost your mind? You're in a sorry state. This is your disaster too. It's not a joke.
No, I swear by the love of our Father, I am not abusing you. He's right nearby. For God's sake, listen to me tell the whole story. Then you'll know if I'm a sensible woman or a fool.
Tell the story then, if talking makes you happy.
All right, I'll tell you exactly everything I saw. When I came to the site on the ancient mound, I saw streams of milk springing from the top, and all the flowers that are in bloom were twisted in a wreath to crown Father's grave. I saw this and I was amazed. I looked around thinking someone else might be there with me in that place, but stillness was all I could find there. So I crept up on the tomb, and at the edge I saw, on the burial site, a freshly cut lock of hair. Then immediately, my soul was struck with a long familiar precious sight, the man I love more than anyone, Orestes. This was evidence of him. I took it and felt it with my hands, not daring to say a word, but joy immediately filled my eyes with tears. And now I know for sure, as I did then, these gifts could have only come from him. Orestes is the one who left these gifts at Father's grave. So cheer up, dear sister. The same people do not always have the same run of luck. Ours has been dreadful up till now, but today, perhaps, will guarantee us a brilliant.
You have no idea. As you talked, I pitied you.
What? Aren't you happy about my news?
You don't know what path or plan you are following.
What are you saying? I saw it with my own eyes.
He's dead. I'm sorry. All hope of him is gone. He won't come to save us. Don't expect anything from him.
No, who told you this?
The man who was beside him when he died.
So where is he now?
In the house with Mother, where she is delighted and not pained.
No, don't say this. Then who could it possibly be who made these offerings at Father's tomb?
My best guess is there for Orestes now that he's dead. Put there as memorial by someone or other.
This is terrible. I came back in such a rush to bring you this joyful news, but I did not know how deeply we were ruined. Now that I'm here, our old reality was horrible, but I find this far worse.
That's how things are with you. But listen, you can shake off the weight of all this grief.
What am I going to do? Raise the dead?
That was not my point. I wasn't born a fool.
So what are you asking me to do that I can do?
To have the courage to do as I direct.
If it'll help us, I won't refuse.
But look, it will be tough. No pain, no happiness.
I see. I'll take as tough a load as I can bear.
Pay attention now. Here's my plan. You know as well as I, we have no friends here. There's no one left for us. Hades took them all and left us solitary and bereft. Now, as for me, so long as I was told, as our brother lived and flourished, I had hopes that someday soon he'd come and take on the job to avenge our father's death. But now that he's no more, it's you I'm looking at. This red-handed murderer who killed father. You won't hesitate, will you? Kill Aegisthus. If you adopt my plan, here's what will happen. First, you'll earn sacred goodwill from both of those who are dead and buried, our father and our brother, and glorious fame will follow us in life or death forever. So trust me, sister dear, do as I say. Take up the burden of our father's trouble. Take up the burden of our brothers. Release me from evil. Release yourself. And keep this in mind. It is shameful for well-born folk to live in disgrace.
In a case like this, you should think ahead.
Forethought is your ally.
Whether you speak or listen. Yes, my friends, if she were endowed with an intellect that was not so badly flawed, she would have taken care to be discreet, which she certainly has not been. What could you possibly expect from this? You lift your fierceness like a sword and you ask me for support? Can't you see you're a woman? That's your nature. You're not a man. You're not as strong as your enemies as a fight. So I beg you, before we are totally destroyed, before our family is wiped clean away, contain your anger. Now, all those words you've said, I will not let them be said again. They're null and void. So please, be sensible for once in this long time. And since you are so weak, give in to our rulers.
Do as she says.
Foresight always gives the best advantage to human beings.
That and wisdom.
Just as I expected, I knew perfectly well you tossed my proposal away. So I'm single-handed. I'll have to do this thing alone. I'll never let it go.
Oh, how I wish you'd had a plan like this when Father died. You could have overcome everything.
I was as strong as nature by then, but not so strong-minded.
You should train your mind always to be the same.
So you won't help me take action. You want me to mind you?
Because if you start this way, I expect you'll end badly.
I do admire your mind. It's your cowardice I hate.
I'll accept what you say too when I hear compliments.
You won't hear compliments from me.
Time will tell, and there's plenty of it left.
Get out of here! You're no use at all.
I am too, but you don't know anything.
You'll run to your mother and tell her everything.
I don't hate you that much, really. I don't.
But don't you see you're leading me into disgrace?
Disgrace, no. Thinking ahead, yes. For your own sake.
Do I really have to obey your rules of justice?
Come to your senses and you'll be leading us both.
It's horrible to speak so well and be so wrong.
You're quite right, speaking about yourself.
What? You can't think you're speaking on the side of justice.
No, there's a time when even justice causes harm.
I shall live by those laws. They're not for me.
Do what you want. You'll respect me afterward.
Of course I'll do what I want. You don't scare me.
Is this really true? You won't discuss it and reconsider.
Discuss it? What could be more hateful than a discussion with the coward?
I don't think you have any idea what I'm talking about.
It was ages ago that I made this decision, not just recently.
Then I'll leave. My words will never earn your respect, and the way you're going, my actions will never... my words will never earn yours.
Okay, go inside then. I will never follow you, no matter how passionately you want me to do so. It's pure foolishness, chasing phantoms.
So you claim these decisions of yours are good thinking? Then go ahead and think that way. Later on, when you're in trouble, you'll respect what I said.
No one from a fine family who is forced to live like garbage
Would ever trade her glory for the shame of silence.
Oh, child, dear child, what a public spectacle you have made of your misery.
You put on the full armor against shame.
So now your name is 2 in 1.
You are the wise and good.
Greetings. Are we on the right road? We've been looking for Aegisthus. I've been asking where he lives.
You've come right.
Your guide was faultless.
Could one of you go inside and inform the family of our group's arrival? It has been eagerly awaited.
She could, if you want to ask the closest relative.
Could you go inside and tell them some men are asking for Aegisthus?
Oh no, don't tell me that what you're carrying is proof, visible proof of the news we've heard.
I don't know what rumor you've heard, but a man sent us with news about Orestes.
What is this? How quickly fear comes over me.
Here is what remains of him. He's dead. As you can see, the urn we carry is very small.
Oh, misery, so this is it. It's clear now. So I see this heavy load strewn on.
Are you weeping over Orestes' sad fate? Then you should know. This is the container for his body.
Visitor, give it to me, please, right now. Is he really hidden in this urn? Let me hold it in my own hands. I need to weep and mourn over these ashes for me and my whole family.
Give this to the woman, whoever she is. There's no hostility in her request. She must be close to the family. Perhaps a blood relative.
So this is all I have to remember him. No one was closer to me than Orestes. I sent you off with such high hopes, and now I'm taking you back with none. This thing I hold in my hand is nothing but you. You, my child, were a blaze of light when I sent you from home. I should have died before these hands stole you and sent you abroad. I saved you from murder, but I stole from you the opportunity to die at home on the same day as Father, to be buried with him in his tomb. Now I weep for the times gone by when I would care for you, What a waste that was, all the sweet trouble I took for you. You never belonged to Mother as much as to me. I loved you more than she did. No servants looked after you but me. You always called me sister. And now, all of this has been lost in one day. The day you died.
You come from a father who was subject to death, Electra.
Keep that in mind.
Orestes too is mortal.
So do not mourn too much.
We
all must die.
No. What can I say? Words fail me. I do not have the strength to control my tongue.
You're in pain suddenly. Why? What is this?
Are you Electra?
I am, and I am in total agony.
How sadly things have turned out for you.
It's not possible. You're a visitor. Why weep for me?
They've made a wreck of your body. What contempt! What godlessness!
Are you talking about me? Why are you so sad?
Because I see you. Your suffering is so conspicuous.
But really, you're only seeing a few of my troubles.
Could anything be more hateful than what I see now?
Yes, because I live and feed with the murderers.
Of whom? Where'd this trouble come from? Be clear.
My father. I am the servant of the people who murdered him.
Someone's compelling you to live like this. Who is it?
She's called my mother, but she's nothing like a mother.
Isn't there anyone to help or protect you?
No, there was, but you gave me his ashes.
It's so hard. The moment I saw you, I pitied you.
The only one who's ever pitied me is you, that's for sure.
The only one. Well, I'm here now, and your pain is mine.
You're not some relative, are you? From somewhere?
I'd like to tell you. Are these people on our side?
Yes, they are. You can talk safely.
Then set this urn aside if you wish to learn everything.
For God's sake, stranger, don't do this to me.
Put this container down, and I'll tell you everything.
No, it's what I love the most. As you are a man, do not take this.
You can't keep it.
This is horrible. Orestes, if I'm not allowed to bury you.
Careful what you say. It's wrong for you to weep.
How is it wrong? It's my brother who died.
It's not for you to say this.
Have I lost the right to mourn? How?
You haven't lost any rights. This isn't yours.
Of course it is, if what I hold is the body of Orestes.
It's not Orestes. That was just a story we made up.
Then where is the poor man's casket?
There isn't one. A living man needs no casket.
What did you say, my child?
Nothing false.
Is the man alive?
If I am breathing,
Is it you?
look at this seal. It was my father's. Then you'll know.
Oh, my dearest light.
Dearest, I swear.
Your voice. It's here.
No need to hear it from others now.
I have you in my arms.
And forever after.
Dearest women of the city, look, here's Orestes and his friend. It was only a trick that he was dead, and that trick has kept him alive.
We see him, dear child. Such good luck. Joy brings tears to our eyes.
Oh, beloved seed, beloved child, you're here now. You found, you came, you saw those you longed for.
Yes, we're here. But keep it quiet.
Why?
Quiet is better so no one inside hears.
Dear one, when I had lost all hope, I heard a voice, but I kept my passion without a voice. I did not shout aloud when I heard it in my misery, but now you're right in front of me, the face I love the most. My troubles would never make me forget you.
You don't need to convince me that Mother's a bad woman, or that Aegisthus is sopping up Father's wealth. Tell us where we should show ourselves or hide to complete our mission and wipe the smile from our enemies' faces. And make sure Mother does not guess the truth that we've come home. She mustn't see you with a smile or a shining face, so pretend it's a disaster, as was reported, and keep crying. Once we have succeeded, then you may be as happy and smile as much as you like.
Now, you know what's inside. Of course you do. You heard Aegisthus is away, but Mother's home. Fear not. She won't see me with a smile or a shining face. I've hated her for ages in the extreme. But now that I've seen you, I can't stop crying out of happiness. How could I possibly? You must give me whatever orders you please.
Please be quiet. I see someone leaving the house, coming our way.
You two must go inside. It's important no one at home can ward off the thing you are bringing them, and they won't receive it with pleasure.
Have you lost your minds? Don't you care about your lives? The greatest possible danger is not just around the corner. It's right here on top of us now. And you don't realize it. Had I not been standing just inside these doors and been keeping watch over you for some time now, your plans would have gotten into the house before you did. As it is, I have taken care to prevent that. Now, shut down this conversation and go inside. At a time like this, danger is imminent, and you must finish your business right now. It's time.
So how will it be for me in there?
Fine. It's settled that no one knows you.
So you must have told them that I am dead.
As far as they know, you're in Hades.
Were they happy about that? What did they say?
I'll tell you when it's all done. For now, things are fine with them. Even what's not fine.
Who is this? For God's sakes, brother, tell me.
You haven't guessed?
Nothing comes to mind.
Don't you remember the man you gave me to once?
What? What sort of man?
It was his hand that guided me to the land of focus, as you wished.
Is this the man? The only one I found out of all of them, who was faithful when father was murdered?
He's the one.
How could I not recognize you? You killed me by what you said, but what you did was joy to me. Welcome, Father. You seem like a father to me. Welcome. You can be sure there's no one in the world I hated and loved as much as you on the same day.
Our story, as it is now, will be told over many cycles of days and nights, and you will know it all clearly then, Electra. But I'm telling you that the time for action is now. Clytemnestra is alone. None of her men are inside. If you let the moment go, keep this in mind. You will have to fight more men than these, and they will be more cunning.
Pylades, we must go inside and get our job done quickly. But first, let's greet the gods.
Lord Apollo, graciously hear their prayers, and let me add my own to theirs. My eager hands have made you many offerings from whatever I might have. Lord of light, Apollo, I have little now to give. I beg, I entreat you on my knees. Be our ally in these plans we have made, and show all people how great a penalty the gods hand out to those who trample on reverence.
Look, he is on the move. Ares, blasting gales of foul strife and blood.
Already the hounds have tracked their evil prey beneath the roof.
They are inescapable.
Soon now my heart's dream
Will
come true here on earth.
My dear women, the men are at the very point of this doing.
What are they doing now?
She is preparing for the burial. Those two stand near.
But why did you rush back?
I'm standing guard so we'll know if Aegisthus starts to come inside.
Killers!
Someone is shouting. Do you hear it?
Yes, I heard it.
I wish I hadn't.
Horrible. It made my flesh creep.
I'm finished. Aegisthus, where are you now?
Listen.
My child. Oh, my child, I gave you birth. Have pity on me.
But you had none. There is no pity in you for the father who planted the seed.
Oh, city.
Oh, family.
What misery.
Your days are coming to an end.
I'm hit.
Hit her again. Make it twice if you're strong enough.
Another blow.
Oh, how I wish Aegisthus had the same.
Curses fulfilled.
Drop by drop.
The thirsty dead.
Alive beneath the ground.
Suck back the blood of those who killed them long ago.
And here they are. His hand drips red with his sacrifice to Ares. I
do not know what to say.
Orestes, what happened?
In the house. It's good. If Apollo's oracle was good.
Is she dead? Miserable woman.
You'll never be afraid again. Mother's pride will humiliate you no longer.
Be quiet!
Be quiet.
I see Aegisthus.
She is very close.
You better go back.
Where do you see him?
He's coming home from the outskirts of town, full of joy.
Go quickly to the entryway.
Do it now!
Other things can wait.
Don't worry. We'll finish it.
Hurry up now, follow your plan.
I'm going now.
I'll see to things out here.
Speak gently in his ear and don't say very much.
That would be best.
So he'll dash blindly into the hidden toils of justice.
Where are the visitors? Which of you knows? I heard they brought us news that Orestes had lost his life in a chariot wreck. You. Yes, you. I choose you. Where's that rough tongue you used to have? This is largely your concern, so I think you should know the most. Answer my question.
Of course, how could I forget? That catastrophe, the loss of my nearest and dearest.
So where might our visitors actually be? Tell me.
Inside, they got to their hostess with ties of friendship.
Is it really true they bring us news of a death?
No, not news, not mere words. They proved it.
So we can be sure on the basis of visual evidence.
Of course, but it is not a happy sight to see.
For once, after all these years, you have said something that gives me joy.
Have your joy then, if you enjoy these things.
Let me see. I command it, and show what there is to see to all the people of Mycenae and Argos, so that if any of them have been holding on to empty hopes for this man, now they shall see him dead. Then they'll answer to the reins that I pull, and they won't need me to force them to grow some good sense.
My part of that is finished. After so much time, I've got it. My mind is sound. I've learned to serve those who are stronger.
Zeus! What an apparition! This is due to some grudge of the gods! But I won't say that. Uncover its face. It is my kin. Let it have the opportunity to be mourned by me.
Use your own hands. It isn't my duty, it's yours to look at this and speak to it like a close relative.
That's good advice, and I'll take it. Now you, is Clytemnestra at home? If so, call her for me.
Oh, she's very close. Don't expect her anywhere but here.
What is this?
Are you afraid of someone? Someone you don't recognize?
Who are these men? What is this trap I've fallen into?
Didn't you notice a while ago that although you're alive, you've been matching words with the dead?
I see what you are saying now. It has to be. It can only be Orestes who is speaking to me.
What a superb prophet you are. You missed it for ages.
Finished. It's horrible. But let me say something.
Don't let him speak another word. For God's sakes, brother, he just draw things out. What's the point in giving someone more time when they're about to die? Kill him right away, and when you've killed him, let whoever might give him a burial out of my sight. That is the only way, after all these years of misery, that I'll be released.
Go inside. Hurry up. Words are not the issue any longer. It is your life that is at stake.
Why are you taking me inside? If this is right, this thing you were doing, why do it in the dark? Aren't you ready to kill?
Don't give me orders. Go where you killed my father so you can die in the same place.
Is it really necessary that this very house should bear witness to the same evils that come to Pelops' heirs, even now and in the future?
It will see yours. On that point, I am the top prophet.
You claim a skill that your father did not have.
You talk back too much. You lengthen the road. Get moving.
Lead on.
You go first.
Why? So I won't escape.
No. So you won't find a pleasant way to die. I must make sure it hurts. Bitterly. This is justice for all. Kill them on the spot. All who choose to violate the law. Then there won't be so much crime.
Seed of Atreus, how much you suffered before you won through to freedom. Barely, but perfectly now, from this beginning.